Welcome back to the Mei Lee Show. We've been talking about beauty and body image with my guests, cosmetic surgeon Dr. Ivar Lim, and corporate trainer, personal coach, and author Elisabetta Franzoso. Joining us now is Tony Chu, Senior Product Group Manager for Unilever. Tony spearheads the campaign for Real Beauty in Singapore. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you.
Now, this Real Beauty campaign, I really love because it does send the right message about body image and people feeling good about themselves. We actually have one of the ads that we'd like to show first, and then we'll talk about it. Let's take a look.
Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you call me up because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show you're beautiful like a rainbow.
So sweet. I love that ad. Well, let me ask you, what prompted Dove to launch this campaign?
Dove wants more women to feel more beautiful every day, and we wanted to widen the definition of beauty. And in 2005, Dove Tick Box campaign is actually being rolled out in Asia. And the objective of this is to provoke a debate, to get people to start rethinking and redefining what real beauty means to them. And we are in the midst of rolling out our Dove Self-Esteem Fund to fund programs that support body-related self-esteem programs.
For girls, right?
For young girls, yeah.
Because that's where it really needs to start, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because girls are now, they're getting younger and younger when they start thinking about these things, about dieting, about their image, so young.
Yes. And what is actually worrying in the research that we have conducted, 1 in 5 young women actually wanted to consider a plastic surgery, and I think that is alarming.
Well, Dr. Lim, are you starting to see? I know, I hate to put you on the spot, but, you know, I mean, are you starting to see more girls coming to you and saying that they want cosmetic surgery?
Yes, I think our younger patients actually drag in their parents and come in and say things like, right, Daddy, Mummy, I want double eyelids, and this guy's going to do it for me, and that sort of thing. But, you know, that hasn't really changed that much over the years. In fact, it has been the situation ever since I was a plastic surgeon. But I have to agree that a campaign like this would be very beneficial to the young, because it is there's that time when they feel insecure, when they are emotionally not as, as stable, when they get insulted by things like, oh, you're so fat, so don't you think you should lose a bit of this?
And kids can be cruel, you know. They can be cruel.
Absolutely. They are very much pressurized by the peers.
The peers, exactly.
And as you say, very cruel.
Well, let me ask, go back to Tony. In the research, has the campaign been effective for these girls to start looking at themselves and saying, you know what, I'm okay?
We have actually launched Body Talks in Singapore, and we've got fantastic feedback from students who have actually attended the workshop, and they felt that they didn't know that the images that they see in the media could be manipulated in such manner, and they will very surprised with the magnitude that people have actually gone into. So,
because again, these are these unrealistic images that they're being shown through magazines and media that don't exist.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
It's through that power of education where these girls' minds can change a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know, whenever I think about these issues, and especially with young girls, it also has to come from the adults. I mean, with mothers and older sisters and women who they hear them saying, oh, I'm fat, oh, I got to go on a diet, I got to do this and that, they're going to absorb all of that.
Of course, because parents are role models. So you have to be the one, as a mother myself, I know, to set up the role for your daughter. So, for example, I have clients that came in a session, and there is a, literature that you can read around that, where the eating disorder came from mothers and even from grandmothers, and it was perpetuated because there was no education. And so how can you break the chain if you don't know? So for me, it's about creating awareness, and this is the fantastic way. So I didn't know that, so fantastic. Welcome that in Singapore.
And that's I think is in line with the research that we have done. In fact, the top key influences on the perception of beauty is actually mothers, their peers, and the media do play a large extent to the perception on beauty.
Of course.
I have to agree that it all starts very, very young, because I see my 3-year-old girl, Pippa, who's following her older sisters, Alex and Georgia. And she's growing up so quickly because they truly influence her. And she's already putting on a bit of makeup and the lipstick and raids my wife's makeup box and that sort of thing. I just quietly stand by the side and read newspapers and try not to do it too much. Yeah.
But there's got to be a balance, right? I mean, look, we're certainly not condemning anything right now on this show, but we are talking about the balance of things.
And sorry if I interrupt you. I think that with my daughter, and you know, she's here, so maybe you can also ask her. For me, is always a reminder when she asks for approval, because children come to you to ask for approval. Do you like me, mommy? Or, you know, is he okay the way that I dress? I say what I think I need to say, but I always remind her, your beauty comes from the inside.
And that's the lesson that needs to be taught through and through. Ivar, I wonder, when you do receive patients, do you, from an older woman's point of view, with a daughter, I mean, do you see where a mother could possibly try and be a better role model in terms of projecting those positive messages, and yet she's coming to you to try and change herself? Is that something that you kind of see and struggle with?
A little bit, because we do get the younger ladies coming in with parents and who are quite determined that their daughters have a certain thing or other done. There is definitely a very, very strong influence, paternal influence on children's behavior. And but usually I always tell my patients, you know, if your parents may suggest this, but you have to want to do it yourself. Otherwise there'll be no satisfaction with the result, and I could just as well just be doing it for nothing. And I would rather the patient want it herself. And normally they'll say, yeah, you know what, when you do that and I can see I look a bit more like this, that looks quite good, and we'll just go ahead with that. But I think in that situation, it really is, it might be the child wanting a procedure done and wants parental approval, or the converse of the parents wanting something done for the child and wanting the child to accept the procedure. So I try and strike a balance in either situation.
It's probably not easy at times, though.
It's not that easy. It's more difficult when you get the ladies who come in when the boyfriends want them to have a boob job. Now that's true.
That's just not a good answer at all. So, but overall, it really does come down to education, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And I mean, do you think there's enough of that, though, in Asia? No, right?
But not only in Asia. I would say everywhere.
Anywhere.
Everywhere. But, you know, if we talk about Asia, because recently the change in women has been so fast, you know, in the past 20 years, women changed so much in Asia. Something that, for example, in Europe started already in the early 50s, 60s. So the timing was really very short. So it was also very short time to create education. So we're still in time. So we are here to send out the message that more education is needed.
I think we believe in preventing a problem, because in our research we know that women's attitudes towards beauty is formed at a very young age. So you have to start educating from them since young. You have to let them know that there's actually a broader definition of beauty out there than to wait until a problem surfaces much later on.
That's why the campaign's so good. Thank you so much, all of you, for being on the show. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well,